Hello and welcome to coverage of the Crooked Lines Classic out here at beautiful Blue Lake Park in Fairview, Oregon. We've got a wonderful card for you today, and the Bazooka Dean commentary team on the mics, Sam, Benson, Trevor Dean. How you doing, Trevor?
Howdy, y'all. Excited to be here, watching good disc golf. Got four quality players here. Got Daniel Kitchens, Dallas Garber, Zachary Crist, and Emmitt Kison. Quite the power quad we got here. Let's see how they play.
Starting off on hole 1, playing as a par 4 today. It's straightforward down this tunnel. Daniel Kitchens going with his patented forehand roller.
Don't see many people do it, but it is his signature, and it can crush.
In the middle of the fairway after hitting a tree. Not too bad a position at all.
Definitely got himself a birdie up and down from there. Let's see what Emmitt's got here.
A little off to the left, but it's close enough to the middle, far enough away from the OB. Shouldn't be too bad from there.
Alrighty, this is what I was waiting to see. The backhand roller. I think that's the signature play you see most people get. Throw down there, get yourself an eagle look if possible. Just keep it in bounds and it should be pretty routine up and down.
Yeah, and you see a lot of these come over to the right side and flirt with that OB. We'll see here in a second if he's in, but got a lot of the fairway out of the way there.
Oh yeah.
Now we're seeing Dallas Garber, the pride of Portland, Oregon, going here with the roller as well.
Trimming a little bit of tree going off right, but it looks like it has the stability to maybe hold. And nope, it finds one of the big old trees out here.
It might have been a good tree to keep him
That's
in
true.
bounds.
Valid. All right, Kitchens with a little forehand upshot. Not really many places to go other than right next to the basket. Potentially a little deep, but should be a birdie look.
Yeah, and on this hole, realistically, what you want to do is get as much ground as you can off the tee shot. Give yourself comfortable upshot. See Dallas here going with the forehand. I believe that's his berg. Should be pretty straightforward for the up and down to get to birdie.
Ooh, is that the height for a run? You think so?
Oh, he wanted it.
I would think so. You got to go for an eagle there with a berg. It's just falling out of the sky.
Yeah, and as you can see, even though Emmitt didn't have the greatest tee shot, pretty simple.
Oh, I thought that was in.
Little touchy forehand, should be inside the circle for birdie.
Definitely on this MPO field. Most people are looking to maybe want an eagle, but getting out of here with a birdie feels like an essential.
Oh.
Good bid from Zach there, just touching the outside of the cage, but should be a tap-in birdie.
Here we go. Just cleanups for the guys, hopefully. See what Kitchens has got.
There we go.
Right in the heart. Walking away with birdie. Great start to the round. Emmitt here. What we like to call a tap out, but always keeps your nerves high. Any putt on the first hole, whether it be 10 feet, whether it be 30 feet, you're always feeling a little something.
Absolutely. Definitely starting here on hole 1, getting that first birdie. Start off your round. You know that the teeth of the course will be coming on later, so you want to get as many as you can here on the front.
Yeah, for those who have not played Blue Lake, the front 9 is the scoring 9, I would say. And the back 9, you can get into some longer holes, a little bit more teeth. Longer holes that make you want to go for things and get you in trouble. So score right out the gate.
4 birdies for the card. It's a perfect start. Can't ask for much more. Now on to hole 2.
Hole 2, 425 feet. Depending on what your options are here, a lot of people like a big forehand or a big power backhand turnover. Kitchens, of course, going to a big forehand. Not as much flex, I think, as you want out of that. So it kind of finishes into the tree there, drops him down about 80 feet.
But, you know, that's perfectly fine here. This is a tough hole. Definitely birdieable, but there's plenty more after this that, you know, you'd probably be more wanting to get.
Correct.
Emmitt here going for the turnover play. It's just a little too low. Probably, again, in that 80 to 100 feet range.
Being a longer par 3 is important to keep it in bounds. There's always a little bit of danger here and there, but don't want to have any par putts from 100 plus feet.
Nice.
Yeah, and you'll see that green basket that's playing for some of the amateur groups in the field. We are playing to the blue basket a little bit further down the hole. You'll also notice that no one's throwing a backhand hyzer here. That's because there is a mandatory tree on the right side making you shape the disc from left to right.
Here we go. We got Dallas smiling, thinking he's going to give it an ace run, hopefully. Let's see. Puts it up in the air, plenty of height. makes the correction from the other guys.
A little too much turn there, but should be in no danger.
Filming. Yeah.
Here's Daniel, another little routine forehand upshot. Didn't look like he wanted much of a bid on that, but walking away with a par is never a bad score on hole 2 here.
No, part of the thing you got to keep in mind with this course is it's really easy to start tacking on bogeys, and so when you have these kind of tweener shots, you really got to make a decision and commit to it.
Wow, what a commitment with the green basket in the stance. Step out, put it up, put it in, chase it down. Nice birdie, Zach.
That's what we call basket to basket.
Dallas here. With the step through, ooh, just not enough power. Should stay pretty close. Should be a simple cleanup for par.
Got Dan tapping out. Easy par. Dallas should be doing the same here. One thing to note, some holes at Blue Lake do run close to the road, so if you're easy with distractions, it could be tough, but take your time. Don't let it get in your head. Play your game. Get your pars. Keep moving on.
Yeah, and even though this is during the summer, you'll notice everyone's wearing hoodies, some people in long pants. Definitely some cooler weather this morning. All right, moving on to hole 3, par 4. You've got a big right-to-left moving tee shot, followed by a tight green with OB left, right, and beyond the basket. Kind of got to make a decision here if you want to go high or go low. And there's definitely different ways you can get the birdie, but this hole also is one of the first ones in the course with real teeth. Double bogey is definitely in play.
You see Zach going over the top there, trimmed a little bit of the trees. Looks like it had enough push to get the distance, but we'll see when we get around the corner. Dan going low there, safe play. Get it out there, give yourself a look up to the green.
Emmitt going high. This looks pretty good. This is the type of shape that you'll see most of the MPO field throwing.
Oh, look at that beauty. The Banana Mobile. I would presume Dallas is probably going over top. Any guys with a lot of power. Kind of helps you get further left and shorten up that approach shot with the OB. Never mind. He goes low.
Going low, a little inside. And we'll see if he pushed far enough straight to stay out of that left side OB. Kitchen's here. You'll see he's going through these bushes on the right side. This is the backdoor line. You see people playing more often these days, but definitely the risk there where got to beat a number of bushes, and if you don't, you're dropping out of bounds. You're basically guaranteed bogey or worse.
Yeah, all drive dependent on taking that back door or the inside line. I would say there's probably more options on the back door just with the size of it, but as Sam said, a little bit more teeth with bushes, low-hanging limbs, all knocking you down straight over OB.
Dallas putting a move on this one, hits a limb, but he should clear the OB with that. Probably not a real look for birdie, but should be a pretty straightforward cleanup for par.
Here we've got Emmitt, kind of maybe in that tweener zone of if you want to go back door or on the inside line. Looks like he's favoring the little backhand turnover, flying over inbounds the whole way, a little less danger, but still got to commit to the shot.
Yeah, and you see he leaves it a little undercommitted, finds the OB on the left side. Similarly, that's going to be a really tough look for par, probably going to end up with bogey at best.
Zach with a drive that I'd say was in absolute ideal conditions there, just right in the middle of the fairway, but unfortunately not able to get that up into the fairway to get, or onto the green to get himself a birdie putt. So I think we got 3 OB upshots, and going to be people scrambling for their pars, and Dallas potential birdie putt.
Good up from Kitchens there. Minimize the damage, try to take the bogey. Like I was saying earlier, this is a hole that can really get dangerous if you start compounding your mistakes. Even with people from really good tee shots like Zach, it's pretty easy to end up out of bounds. Even easier to try and run this putt. Wow, speaking of running the putt off the front cage, a great effort. Ooh. And Dallas here, finding a little bit more forward push than maybe we were expecting. Looking here for the circle 2 putt for birdie. This would be a pretty big swing early in the round, taking at least 2 strokes on all of his fellow cardmates.
Let's see what he's got here. C2. Get the round going. Great putt. Hole 3, there can still be nerves, but by now, generally a couple putts made or a couple putts missed relieves some tension.
Little high, stays in bounds. Now he's got a little bit of a tester coming back for par here.
Yeah, look at the backdrop. For those who haven't been out to Blue Lake, beautiful, beautiful course, surrounded by blackberries. A lot of fun to have to find discs in, but all in all, just some great scenery.
And Dallas, cool as you like, puts it in the basket, saves the par.
On to the next. Kitchens with another tap out. Unfortunately for bogey on this one, that levels him back out to even, I believe. You got 3 bogey tap outs here. There's the teeth of Blue Lake. You go OB, you get hurt. It's unfortunate, but on to the next. There's another look at that banana mobile. Beautiful, beautiful car. Already on to hole 4, par 3, 295 feet, dead straight, but there is danger lurking on the left. I believe it is hazard up in those trees, so anything finishing with stability can find those and leave you with a tricky putt.
Yeah, in the past, that left side's played as OB rather than hazard. You would see a lot of people throwing the hyzer towards the basket and fading out towards that OB, knowing that if they went out of bounds, they'd have a very short par putt. With the decision to play it as hazard, it makes that shot shape a lot more dangerous, as all of a sudden you could see yourself having a 25-footer through the trees for par, and if you hit an early tree, you could all of a sudden be putting for double bogey.
Yeah, Dallas pushing those trees. Looks like Zach didn't give it quite enough height, but he is safe. Probably going to be like a deep C2, maybe C3 putt.
Me too.
Kitchens.
Kitchen's doing Kitchen's things, airing out the tomahawk. He's going to be in that big tree to the right side. That is pure natural OB, absolute jail. Emmitt, this is the conventional play that you see, something stable, kind of low, throwing it at that white post on the right side and letting it fade back towards the basket. Should be putting for birdie from there.
Yeah, staying on the edge of that tree is critical. If you're in there, you're probably not going to have much, or you're going to have a situation where you might have to be laying down to get full sprawl, and then hopefully you can get a disc just towards the basket.
Zach with another one of these long bids right on the basket. He's definitely looking like he's feeling it early in this round. And this is what we were just saying. Inside this tree, you can have almost nothing. Kitchen's having to play backwards just to give himself a circle's edge, maybe circle 2 putt.
Situation where you wish you brought a hatchet in your bag.
Absolutely. Let's see if he can convert on the par putt here.
Oh my goodness gracious.
You know, I don't like to say it, but he got veteraned there. That's right on the pole. A beautiful putt from range. And you see the thumbs up from Kitchens. Dallas now putting through the tree for birdie. This is a thick tree. If your disc gets in there, you could have a really nasty out. Let's see if Dallas can figure out a way to get the disc in the basket.
Close enough to maybe find some holes in the limbs. What you see with your eyes may be a gap, but then your hand is in a different spot. But either way, Dallas does wonders to convert on it. Great birdie from a tough area.
Zach here looking to clean up his par. Well done.
Yeah, tough to have a shot on a hole like this. That feels like a kind of must get birdie, but you're sitting 80 to 100 feet out. You got to give it a bid, but if it doesn't go in, feels tough, but par is always good.
Emmitt and Kitchens both tapping in there. Emmitt with the very nice birdie. Kitchens with the unfortunate bogey. Now, moving on to hole 5, another par 4. A true 2-shot par 4. You're looking to throw something dead straight, maybe moving a little left to right before throwing towards the basket. Again, a common theme on this course: OB left, OB long, OB right, playing almost like a peninsula. You're going to see a lot of these guys throwing either forehands or backhand turnovers, just looking to put themselves in position to attack the green.
And that's probably just a little turnover. Throw it out high, let it cruise right, and get yourself out in the open, and
it should be in, yeah.
Manufacture an upshot from there. You can see here the pink flags are the lines for the OB, but for those who have not been out to Blue Lake, it is pretty natural OB. Anything that's long grass is pretty well defined as your OB area.
Yeah, and we're seeing the scores so far in the round. Not too hot from our feature card. These guys are definitely going to want to be picking up some birdies down the stretch as we get closer and closer to the teeth of the course. That's a little left. It's going to be close to the OB, but as long as it's safe, he should still have a shot to attack the green.
Kitchens with the one-off shot for our feature card here, going forehand. This keeps you away from any OB as long as you commit and get it out high. It's going to be finishing right. As you can see, once we get up to his shot, it's into a hill. Kind of makes for a weird upshot, but it's close enough and it's inbounds, you can figure something out.
Zach here. Ooh, throwing the big hyzer out and around this tall tree. You can see the basket there on the left side. And I don't think his disc got back. No, it did not. That's going to put him in a tough spot to get up and down. Again, a lot of these holes, if you're off even just a little bit, it can go from birdie to bogey or even double bogey pretty fast.
Yeah, you can see by these three guys' drives that they can see the basket. They didn't push too far to close them off on the upshot like Zach experienced there. Surprised to see Dallas eyeing up this hyzer line still, though, considering it's over OB. But looks well committed. See where it lands?
Ooh, that's going to be a little close to that OB on the left side, but I think he stayed in there. Emmitt now.
And not a lot of ground play on that, which was nice.
Yeah, you'll notice that it's very green, very lush. Ground's a little wet the morning of this tournament. Definitely a little different playing conditions for a summertime event. Emmitt with the straight turnover shot. Pushing it maybe a little deep, but should be inside the circle, should be a putt for birdie. Now you're hearing Kitchens basically in the perfect position. He can do whatever he wants. Backhand turnover, forehand approach, backhand hyzer, all of the options are at his disposal. Looking like he's going to go with the forehand zone, which is his specialty. Let's see if he can put it close.
Forehand here, if you're wanting to park it, you're kind of you're challenging those limbs and those trees on that OB line right there. Probably challenges it a little more than he wanted to be honest. But looks like he'll stay in bounds and have himself a birdie look.
Yeah, and you can see Zach now has this really nasty lie. You're carrying OB the entire right side on that hyzer line. He just never got back, and now you see he's throwing his up. This is classic Blue Lake, a hole that you're definitely thinking birdie when you come into it. All of a sudden, you're taking a big number.
Yep, compound mistakes, as Sam mentioned earlier.
Emmitt, just a little low on the birdie putt there. We see Dallas just barely staying in bounds. Let's see if he can convert, take advantage of some of that good luck.
Yep, take that meter off. Get your feet out of those bushes, out of those shrubs as much as possible. A confident stance is a key to a confident putt. Let's see what he's got here. Birdie look, par 4. You want it. Looks like there is a little bit of a breeze out there. Maybe doesn't look like a lot here in the studio, but when you're on the course, it can feel like something. It can feel like just enough to hinder your confidence.
Yeah, that's a good putt. Right on the pole, just above the rim of the cage. Same from Kitchens. Well executed birdies from both of them. Emmitt tapping in the par, and Zach taking the double bogey. Definitely not what you're looking for on this hole, but there's lots of opportunities for birdies in the next 3 or 4.
I want to give a quick shout out also to Wild Rose Athletics, our sponsor. We've got a tournament coming up second week in October. It's going to be at Scomedia Lodge, which is a course that hasn't had a tournament before. Pretty sick course. Out in the gorge. 6 players packet as always. This is one of the sneak peek items. The new Corbier water bottles from Wild Rose.
At Wild Rose Invitational 2-day tournament, 3 rounds. So we're going to be playing 2 rounds on Saturday, 1 round on Sunday.
Still got spots available.
Definitely go do that.
All right, for those who haven't, Scomedia Lodge, get out there, sign up. Come compete against the best of the best in Oregon.
Hole 6, looking like you can't see much here. If you look real closely, you can see the basket. This is not a very long hole, maybe 300 feet, but you've basically got 2 options. You've got this straight shot through this gap, got to give it a little bit of height, or you got the big backhand hyzer over to the right side. Kitchens, of course, defines his own path, throwing the tomahawk over everything. This hole, again, one you're targeting for birdie, but there's a lot of OB if you hit anything early. We see Dallas leaking off to the left side. You know, hopefully he managed to stay in bounds. We see Emmitt cutting it really close on the right. Again, That shot from Emmitt should be in the circle, putting for birdie. But even just a little bit more to the right, he's out very early, out of bounds. Probably bogey at best again.
Yep, fourth, Zach going right up the gut as well. I think the up the gut is the common path. You can definitely go high right, high left, but with the thick foliage and the growth, sometimes just throwing where you can see is the safest play. Dallas pushing left off his drive. Don't want to go up, maybe waste time looking for it, so they're going provisional here. Just a little chip shot forehand up and over, maybe 150 feet. Looks like Zach doing the same here as well.
All right. Looking like Zach was inbounds.
Maybe about a 60-foot bid from there. Love to get a little bit higher, maybe chase those chains. But yeah, jump putts, anything C2, never a guarantee.
Dallas here. From circle 2. Ooh, just a little bit too much pace. Here's the result of that big tomahawk over the top from Kitchens. Well inside circle 1. Good opportunity for birdie.
If you got the tomahawk or the thumber over the top, always a great play if you can control it. Takes away any danger low. If you got that airspace up there, good on Kitchens. Nice birdie.
Coming back to clean up here for Zach. And a good putt. Saves the par.
Very well done. Sam, you got a favorite hole on this front nine here?
Ooh, thinking of a favorite hole in the front nine is probably the hole we're going to see next, hole 7. Talk about it a bit more here after Dallas and Emmitt finish up their putts.
I would agree. Next hole, par 5. A lot of options. Very scoreable. Nice putt from Dallas. Looks like they were both inbounds if that par score is correct there.
And Emmitt absolutely parked. Just as we mentioned, you throw the straight line, you get it through the gap, you don't hit anything. Most of the time, you're going to be pretty close for birdie.
All right, we got 3 guys under par, 1 over, and here is that beautiful par 5, hole 7. Kitchen's going forehand roller. I'm thinking that's going to need a fight back, and the OB is the indication.
Yeah, this is just a beautiful hole. Long and straight off the tee, then slowly bending from right to left. You've got these tall trees creating a corridor all the way down the fairway. OB left, OB right, towards the basket, OB deep. Definitely an opportunity for eagle with 2 big shots, but the birdie is not a given. Requires some touch and control off the tee. And then sometimes making a good putt on a slopey green.
85%.
Yeah, whatever you can get straightest, farthest to stay inbound is a great play. I think roller is popular as we see Zach going roller here. It does usually like to challenge those very thick shrubs on the right side, and as you can see where he ended up, it is jail. This is not a place you want to be, especially on a par 5 where biting off a lot helps out for that low score.
No, and you see this a lot. When you're in these big, thick bushes on the right side, you really don't have much of anything. Zach's done well there to just get out into the open, give himself most likely a backhand hyzer from there. And again, going OB right side this early, this is going to be a really tough shot for Kitchens. He's got a lot in his way, looking at the forehand roller. And this is classic Blue Lake. Once you get off the fairway, once you get out of the middle of the fairway, you can get into a lot of trouble really fast and have to really bring your creativity.
Yeah, as we saw from both these guys, generally back-to-back rollers on any hole is an indication that you're scrambling or not exactly where you want to be on each shot. Kitchen's getting a little bit of a lucky, a little extra spin off a tree there, but forward progress is the name of the game, and he's at least making it happen.
Emmitt with a nice tee shot, finding himself in the middle of the fairway. Ooh. A good second, just a little bit low. He would have probably liked another couple of feet of air under that. But in a good spot, should be definitely in birdie range from there. And Zach going for the 3rd roller in a row.
What can it do? It looks like it's pushing forward.
Ooh, that's bleeding out a little bit to the right side. He might need some help.
Yeah, this par 5, the OB does kind of choke down towards the pin here. It's still pretty. You got a lot of grace in terms of right to left distance, but if you're coming in with an air shot on a backhand, some can get fast and scream towards the OB, or if you go cut roller like Zach did there is the fear of pushing too far right.
Dallas in basically perfect position off the tee, going up this right side, flipping something up. He's going to need that to get stable.
Ooh, I thought he might ride the chain link fence there, but no such luck.
Finds the out of bounds, and he's not going to be happy about that one. Kitchens here, you can see the basket just at the end of this hallway. Little forehand flex shot with the zone. Should find himself in putting distance.
Speed control, very important coming in here. Basket's maybe 10 feet lower than your feet at max, but again, things can come in fast. The ground down there is not necessarily lush green, so things can scream down the hill. Emmitt, nice little chip shot up there. A little bit of ground play, but should be sitting C1 for an easy up.
Yeah, Emmitt really playing this hole kind of how you would draw it up. Middle of the fairway, chip it into circle 1, then looking to make the birdie putt. Dallas going aggressive on the second shot and finding the OB. Now he's got this really long look to save his birdie. Should be close enough, barring a really sending it by the basket, that he should at a minimum save the par. But let's see if he can sink one from deep here. And just always wide. Rolling behind that tree might be a bit of a tester for the par look.
Either way, for this MPO field, thinking somebody might want an eagle. I think we got Emmitt with a birdie look, but as a card as a whole, looks like they're struggling their way through this one a little bit. Kitchens, great putt. Dead center. A little bit lower than that spit out he had back on 5. Good adjustment. Back on 4. Good adjustment.
Yeah, and finding a way to save the par there after going OB on the tee shot and really being out of position. Definitely well played from him.
Emmitt here with this birdie look. Great putt. Nice high. Looked right in the middle and sits in the basket. Nice putt, Emmitt. Now we got Dallas on his comeback for par. Let's see what he can do. Stepping around the tree just a little bit.
Yep, makes it done. Gets it in the basket. Dallas doing what he does best and making putts inside circle 2. Making putts basically from everywhere. Zach the same thing, tapping in. You're going to see our card. Best on the card so far through 7 holes is Dallas at only 3 under. Emmitt as well. Not really what you're looking for. Coming into hole 8, par 3, basically straight ahead over a little creek. You can do whatever you want on this hole. Go straight at it with a backhand, throw a turnover, throw a bit of a hyzer, throw a forehand. There used to be a tree forcing you to move the disc left to right, but that came down, and now the hole's really wide open, giving you the option to throw basically whatever your most comfortable shot for this distance is.
Yep, just make sure you commit to the distance, get over that ravine, canal, make sure you're inbounds. Yeah, Daniel go forehand, looked a little far left, but skipping back to the right with that stability. He'll have a putt, but it's going to be facing back towards the OB most likely. Dallas going forehand here as well. Doesn't look committed enough to the left, and he's likely going to be ended up in that ravine.
Yep, that's the mistake you can't make if you're throwing the forehand. You cannot leave it high, nose up, or on too much hyzer. That's almost always going to be out of bounds. Zach here, throwing the backhand, going pretty much straight at it. Looks very nice. And you see the drop zone for when you do not cross. It's tough. Basically guaranteed bogey unless you can pull out a moment of magic. Dallas with a nice upshot should just be the tap and bogey.
Here's that drive for Kitchens. Again, about C2, but just behind that basket, maybe 15 feet is OB. Just about 2 feet left. You can kind of see a pink flag there. So this is going to be either a very committed run or a soft bid. And Kitchens giving it a go, but Aaron on the safe side of things, just under the basket. Looks like that stayed in bounds. He should have an easy tap out for par. Emmitt, similar circumstances. What's he going to do? You run this putt, Sam, or do you lay this up?
It really depends how you're feeling, in my opinion. It's just way too easy to make, go from birdie to bogey if you're a little bit off on this putt. Looks like the wind has calmed down a bit. Zach with a beautiful putt there. A little high on the chains, but dead on the pole. Drops in for the birdie.
Something to note, this course looks very calm for wind today. But this course can have a lot more teeth due to the tight lines and the tight OB.
And it's just like...
If there's 20-mile-an-hour winds out there, you can be having a real hard time. But a calm day out here is a blessing. Take advantage of it for scoring.
2 bogeys. Definitely not what Emmitt and Dallas were looking for. Moving on to hole 9, it should be noted that the OB for this hole is a little different than normal. It's much tighter on the right and left sides, making you throw a much more precise tee shot for this par 4. Historically, one of the easiest holes on the course, playing with a bit more teeth today.
Zach going OB, just maybe not hanging it high enough, it looked. Kitchens, you can see, just throwing it up there in the air, letting something get stable towards the end. He's definitely more of a forehand guy, but just throwing something out there as a controlled backhand, you can get enough distance. As long as you're not throwing your high-speed disc, you're most likely not going to push the long OB unless you're really trying to get over on something and putting a lot of zest behind it. But the mistake is going long or not throwing high enough. Emmitt should be out there clean, safe somewhere right in the middle. And here we got a beautiful camera angle.
Dallas going very high here. Looks like he's going to find safe, but definitely flirting.
And here's Zach throwing from the drop zone. Anything that goes OB, or not, I don't know. Anything that goes OB goes here, or is it just if you don't make it over the creek?
I think this is a case where
It's optional.
Optional drop zone.
Alrighty, it looks like he took the option for it. Here's Dallas's drive, smack dab right in the middle. Let's throw a little forehand or a backhand up there. Again, no wind. Just commit, get up to that secondary circle. If you're in that secondary circle up there, you're looking at about 50 feet putt at max. So, but ideally, you want to put something within C1, if not 15 feet. Pre-routine, about maybe 200 foot up shot, I would guess. Emmitt, OB question mark. We do not know. It looks like there's a little left of the basket, but the speed they're throwing out, I would hope it would sit down. Kitchens going forehand, pushing a little long, and that may be where Emmitt went, was maybe a little long, but we'll see here once we get the final scores. Either way, about a C1 edge putt for Emmitt. A little wobble, but right up and in. Great putt, gets his par. So in fact, that upshot was OB.
Oh, that's a tough one for Zach. Definitely want to be making putts from that distance. Just pushes out to the right side. Not what you're looking for here on hole 9.
Kitchens, birdie look. What's he got for us?
Beautiful putt.
Surprised that spit out didn't scare him throwing it right at the pole. I would think maybe start aiming a little right, a little left out of safety, but no, he keeps going right on pole. Great putt.
Yeah, now looking at our scores through 9 holes, Dallas in the lead on our feature card with only a 3 down. Definitely not what these guys are looking for. The course difficulty definitely ramps up on the back. Let's see if these guys can heat up a little bit.
Either way, thank you for tuning in on the front 9. You got Trevor Dean here.
And Sam Benson. We are the Bazooka Dean commentary team, and thank you for watching.
And Paige.